Welcome to Splintered Spirits, a podcast hosted by me, Gary, and my nephew Johnny, where I follow Johnny as he tries to prove his theory that ghosts are the fractured memories of the living once they pass on. In this episode, we brought back Cathy Nadal, a medium with the Forever Family Foundation, to give Johnny a reading. Let me be clear. These episodes may have dropped weeks apart, but we recorded them within days of my meeting with Cathy. Johnny has 3 years worth of TikToks, hundreds of videos online. I don't believe she could have gone through them all in that time, and she certainly hasn't followed Johnny and watched the thousands of hours of live broadcasts he's done over the years. That's what it would take in order to fake the things you're about to hear today. Whatever Cathy's got, you can't buy it. So let's dive into the conversation. Cathy, thank you for joining us here. We apologize for giving you the wrong address, and the fact that you found it is already a testament to your abilities as a medium and a psychic. We want to give Johnny a reading today. We are trying to prove what Johnny's theory on spirits are. And Johnny, why don't you tell Cathy what you think spirits are?
So I have a theory, okay, that we are our memories, essentially. And when we die, because listen, I'm an atheist. I don't believe in heaven, hell, any of that. However, I've spoken to too much and I've seen too much to know that we don't go to black. There's more out there, and a lot more complicated than any of us can even imagine. So I have a theory that we are memory, and our memories scatter when we die. We no longer have a vessel to contain ourselves. They're gravitated to certain points in our history, certain places, people. I do believe a percentage of our energy does go to our loved ones. I also believe we have a percentage of that generational energy as well, those memories. So I believe, and what I've been trying to do is prove that I can speak to these spirits, these memories in different locations. And that's what we're doing here on this podcast.
Okay.
So Cathy, I'm going to sit back and see what comes through when you give Johnny a reading. Does that sound good?
Okay. Yeah. So I'm going to give him a similar reading that I gave you, which is psychic and mediumship. All right. So thank you, Johnny, for meeting with me.
Of course. Thank you.
I just want you to know how I work.
Mm-hmm.
I'm psychic, I'm clairvoyant, which means I can see, and I'm clairaudient, which means I can hear. That's how it works when I work as a psychic, but it's also how I work when I work as a medium. I either see spirit, hear spirit, or see and hear spirit. Basically, before I do any work, I do a meditation. So before I left my home today, I did a meditation in preparation for this reading. So that's just how I work. As I start out, it's interesting because the way I work, I see things in symbols, but I also see things like in video clips, and sometimes I hear things that sound like a recording, like someone actually talking to me. So whatever information I give you, I'm just gonna give it to you, okay? It's interesting because even as I was driving over here, I felt very, very much like I wanted to talk to like the younger Johnny. I feel very much like I want to bring you up when you're like 10 years old, 11 years old, 12 years old. I feel very much tied to like sectioning off that ages for you. Okay. And it was interesting as I was driving over here. I kept hearing a young voice, like a young boy's voice. As I go back to this 10, 11, and 12 years, I also feel a little bit split. I feel split with you because I feel like I want to go to school, but I don't want to go to school. And I feel split about it. And there's a little bit more of this when you're more like 11 or 12 years old. It's like you don't want to go anymore. It's like, I don't belong there. I don't need to be there. I'm an adult already. Your mind was already going like as an adult. And the bigger piece of it is that certain things that you saw, like in the other kids, you didn't feel like connected to them. You felt like, I don't need to be here. Like if someone said, here's a job and you're 12 years old, you'd be like, I'll take it.
She's 100% correct, by the way, with everything she's saying. Right?
There's something about like, I don't want to be at school. I don't like these kids and whatever. There's also like someone with an L. This feels almost like a lady with an L. I don't know if she's family, but I do feel very much like an L around with you.
There's actually a few women with an L name in Johnny's life, including his wife, his sister, even some spirits.
And you really should have pursued artwork or drawing. You need to go back to that. Do you understand what I mean by that? I see a lot of artwork or drawing around you.
As far as art, not art like drawing art.
Is it graffiti?
Now, this speaks directly to Johnny's theory of generational memory, energy, transference, or whatever you want to call it. My sister, his mother, is an artist. She still paints and makes things for sale, but never really took the opportunity to pursue it as her profession because she got knocked up with this ghost whisperer.
Okay.
And pursuing other things.
I'm still seeing it as artwork. I keep seeing this thing and I don't know what it connects to. Did you used to take the trains a lot? Because I feel like I'm getting on and getting off the trains. That's why I'm seeing the graffiti. I'm seeing grates. I feel like I'm standing on a grate and there's hot air coming up at me. And there's a significance to you being on the trains.
I used to go to the city all the time.
Okay. There's more than that because I feel like you may have had a spirit connection on a train or people on the train had spirit activity around them. But when I go to, because I'm asking questions constantly in my head, where does this come from? They bring me to you traveling on the trains. So you may have been around spirit energy or activity at a younger age. It may not have been aware that it was happening, but there's a lot of activity when you are on the trains. And I think that's where you pick it up. I believe in ghost activity or a ghost where some people say, like, if you don't protect yourself, you could bring a ghost home with you. Okay. I do believe that certain people feel that they could get attachments. And I do feel like your train activity is kind of flavoring some of that, where you may have been around ghost or spirit activity on those trains. There is a historical connection with you. And it feels very much like I go back to like the Civil War. There's a lot of like fighting references around you, like you're in the Civil War, or people have bayonets on their rifles. There's a lot of battleground in your background. And that's why I feel very strongly that even in your dreams, you may feel confrontational, but you're not sure why. You may not even see the person you're fighting in a dream, but you feel like you've been fighting in a dream. I do also, and I believe in past lives. I don't know if you do or not, it doesn't matter. But you may have been a sheriff at one time because I keep seeing a gold star, like wearing a gold star, defender, protector, all of that. And there's a flight or fight in you that I think came on at a very early age. Who's Mary or Marie in the family?
Nobody that I know.
I want to slap him right now because his grandmother, my mother's name, is Anne Marie.
However, what do you feel when you feel Mary?
I have a woman on the other side.
Oh, well, my mother's not dead.
Mary, and she's pointing to you. There's 3 women in spirit that connect with you. The one knows you in living life, though. And I have to say, she feels family to me. That's why I keep wanting to call her like a grandmother person. The other person keeps pointing at you and saying, Mary, Mary, Mary. And I don't know what she's doing with that. There's someone with a name like Phil, Bill.
I mean, Bill as in like William?
Yes.
Yes, but not family.
Is this like a significant person in your life? Or you have a lot of contact with that?
In my living life. If that makes any sense.
If these were normal circumstances, it makes no sense.
Keep going.
Whatever I get.
Yeah, keep going.
Do you understand everything I've given you so far?
I do. And then I'll get into why. And Gary, this is going to blow your mind.
Okay.
All right, keep going.
So as I give you information, I feel very, I have a cold as I do this reading, and my voice is off, but I feel extremely short of breath when I'm connecting to spirit. So someone in spirit had a very significant respiratory problem where either that is what took their life or it's something that you would know about, okay? Whatever you got going on, these ghosts that I call them, because I think they're ghosts, that's the way I see them, they are around you. they keep company with you, because some of the people that are ghosts, they're very lonely people, and they bring a lonely energy with them, and they're looking for company. And that's why I feel like they come to you. You have a very welcoming energy.
There it is. A certified medium just stated that there are, in fact, spirits around Johnny. We still don't know what those spirits are, but we do have a corroborating witness.
And I feel like they find company with you. Some guy looks like a janitor to me. I don't know if he has a wrench in his hand, or he's got something metal in his hand, and he looks like a janitor, or he looks like a plumber, but he's carrying something metal in his hand. And I feel like you would say, I heard tapping or metal pipes tapping, but there's a distinct metal sound that he could make, or he could make the sound metal sounding because he's this plumber or this janitor man. Do you know the man I'm talking about?
I do know the man you're talking about. What do you feel from him?
So I feel like he's a little bit lost. He wasn't too happy with his life.
Mhm.
He felt like he was stuck in a rut.
Mhm.
And I feel like he was misunderstood.
Mhm.
I feel very odd when he talks about himself. He says he's like not a smart guy,
Mhm.
or people said I wasn't a smart guy. And he just felt like people rolled over
Okay,
him.
I was stopping myself from saying, do you feel that he's been taken advantage of?
It's amazing, though,
That's
because what he just showed me is, when you see, like, when somebody says, cartoon, when somebody says splat, and they show this thing splat
Wow.
on a cartoon, that's what he showed me, like the arms and the legs splat,
Wow,
like
that's
that.
wild.
There's also a spirit that's like a peeping Tom or something, but I feel like they play with the blinds, or they're trying to look through the blinds
Wow.
like a peeping Tom. It's a weird
Uh,
feeling. I don't think they're doing it. My voice is so bad.
would you like some water?
I'll have a water.
She's talking about the spirit across the street. The window's right there. That's what she's talking about right now. And the one she brought up before, we'll get into that because that's a big one. That's a big one.
Huh.
So, all right, may I speak?
I think I just want to go a little bit
Then
further.
keep going. Then
Okay,
keep going.
then keep going.
Please do.
There's like a name Lucille or Lucy.
Okay, Lucille. Yeah.
I don't know what that's connected to, but I just see it. And it's very interesting because did you ever play the game of chess?
Not, not really. I know how to play. I just
Who's
never.
known for playing chess in real life? Who would you know that plays chess?
Nobody.
I play chess.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I play chess all the time. I play it all the time.
Oh, wow. Because it's,
Online, all the time.
wow.
Yeah, no, I don't. None of my friends are that
So
smart.
that's interesting that they just did that, Gary, because they want to include you in this.
You could tell them to keep me the hell out of it.
That is wild. That is wild. Wow, that is so interesting. They're kind of joking around. Who made fun of a nativity scene, or who would steal the three wise men?
Oh, that is something,
That
isn't
is
it?
something, dude.
That is something.
Yes.
Gary, that's something, man. I remember back in something. That's something, dude.
Oh, that is
we would
really.
we would have to consult with
that is.
yeah. Mark that down because that's something. So I remember something about
I
that.
just got chills about that.
Yeah, and
What
it used
is
to
that?
happen all the time.
For those that don't speak New York, something ain't nothing, and it's a real thing.
I remember exactly what it was.
Tell me. Say it.
You want me to say it?
Yeah, say it.
Uncle John's room.
That's.
It's Uncle John's room. It's all the statues.
He's right. My mother kept this nativity scene that used to be my grandmother's set up in my brother's room after he passed. But to be clear, it was my room. Not everything was my big brother's just because he would crash there after I moved out.
I guarantee it.
Yeah.
That's wild. No, there is definitely something with the nativity.
So Gary,
Yeah.
there's more information, and I don't know why, but I think it's for you. They want me to mention the actress that played the mother on the Happy Days. Her name was like Marion in the show.
Mm-hmm.
She had like red hair. They want me to bring up that actress and they want me to bring it up for you. So either you know Marion, you know the actress, or there's a significance to like the mother on Happy Days.
I met her once. I actually did meet her. Princess Cruise Lines had a big event that they invited us to for like, the relaunch of the Love Boat.
Okay. All right. So this is definitely about you.
Great.
They're trying to pull you into this. Um,
I destroyed Ron Howard's pool table by accident once. I didn't mean to.
It's funny.
this is kind of interesting because they want to bring you into this.
Well, his light fixture above the pool table, not the pool table itself.
It's kind of interesting, I have to say. They keep showing me somebody laying down on like a roller and sliding under a classic car, like a Corvette. It's like a mechanic that's laying on a roller and they slide under the car to fix it. The car is not up on a lift, and they keep saying that's connected to you. So, do you know this mechanic person that's sliding under like a classic car?
Yeah. Yes. I mean, I know someone who would be working on classic cars for sure.
Okay.
My brother was a mechanic and a big refurbisher of classic cars. I think he remade a 69 Cuda. Don't quote me on that because I don't know shit about cars, but he loved them and could build one from the tires up.
I am going to step away. I'm going to go have a smoke over here by the fan. I'm going to hand you something. Is that okay?
Okay.
And I want you to tell me what you feel about it.
Okay.
Okay. If you put it in your hands and you don't want to hold it anymore, just throw it on the ground.
What?
You don't got to worry about it.
Is it going to hurt me?
No, it won't hurt you. But I don't know if you feel it. I don't know what's going to happen.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, Johnny, you're not going to smoke around her, right? She's got a cough. Go smoke somewhere else.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm going to go to the vent fan. I have a vent fan hooked up.
Are you all right with that, Kathy? Is that?
Yeah, no, I already spoke to her about it.
Okay.
So he handed me what looks like a noose. It's like a piece of rope. I was hanging on the wall. I was looking at it before. I don't know, to be honest. I keep getting the horse reference when I'm holding this.
Wild. Okay, keep going. That's awesome.
I just get the horse, and I get like a feeling like somebody's whipping the horse or something. But I get like this kind of like a lot of energy and like not like happy energy. Like I get like angry energy, like someone's smacking the horse with this thing or something. At the same time, though, it's really weird. As I'm holding this, I get like a totally unrelated, maybe related reference, but I see like an old man, like a captain of a ship, like smoking a pipe and looking through like a telescope. I don't know if he's a sea captain or something. It's very weird.
What? Keep going.
That is just so weird. And I just feel like I'm looking out at the seas. But he does give me like a very like I feel like I want to be on Cape Cod or something. Like I just feel very much like I'm on the water with him or I'm looking at the water.
So what?
There's some kind of a feeling of like wanting to like win a war or win a battle or something because I feel like I'm in a parade and people are having a parade, but I don't feel like we're celebrating, but I don't feel like we should be. Like we didn't really win the war. Somebody feels conflicted at like a parade or like, why are we celebrating like we're still at war or something? I don't know. It's weird. Um, Very weird. I don't know. Can I put this down?
Just from holding that rope, you're saying?
Yeah.
Well, I was still holding it. So I see stuff all the time. So I don't know. I mean, you can put anything in my hand. If I see something, I say it.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Let's dive into everything that she said. Okay.
Tell me what hit you, Johnny.
We are going to start with Mary. When you were seeing, feeling and speaking about what you were feeling and seeing and whatnot, is at least in my opinion from the data that you were giving me, was literally referencing my documentation. You've been referencing spirits that I have encountered here at this factory. Mary was we believe she was either a spindleist or a seamstress.
What the hell is a spindleist?
Unfortunate time here for a bit, but she worked here. You brought up the man that slat. Remember when you said slat? There was a man who worked here for many, many years. He was taken advantage of. Towards the end of his life, they stopped paying him, and he tried to break into the office and fell to his death.
Oh, wow.
And I thought that was, and you said, like with the metal and him banging and whatnot, that's all. He was a maintenance guy here, and that I thought that's wild. What's really interesting is when I handed you that noose, and you brought up the horse, and you brought up all that. That noose. Have you ever heard of Buckout Road?
Yeah, we used to go there as
Used to go there
teenagers.
as teenagers. Yeah. Okay, well,
My sister dated a guy that had a Camaro, and I was sitting in the back seat with another kid, and they would fly up, and then they would turn the lights out, and we would scream, and he was still driving in the dark.
Which is dangerous on
really
that road.
scary.
Yeah, that's no joke on that road.
That was the 80s. Oh.
Yeah, so Buckout has got a huge, huge history. I mean, you brought up a war, you brought up the battle. That's the Battle of, October 28th, 1776, the Battle of White Plains. That's what caused George Washington to lose, and he had to retreat to New Jersey, and they lost New York, and the British destroyed everything in this area and by Buckout. That news is from Buckout. You brought up, the sadness and the anger and all that, which is wild. The horse, which is why, which it's so crazy that you kept bringing up the horses too and whatnot. Have you ever heard of a Doulahan?
No.
So the spirits speak of a Doulahan. And what a Doulahan is, in Irish mythology, it's many different things, but one way a Doulahan can get created is through battle. And the person who's fighting loses their head. And the spirits speak about a Doulahan at Buckout Road, as in a horseback rider that lost his head and becomes this creature. And funny enough, that's what spawned the legend of Sleepy Hollow. Washington Irving got the legend of Sleepy Hollow from Buckout Road. It's a legend. It's actually a real legend of Buckout, not Sleepy Hollow. As we know, the legend of Sleepy Hollow is not a real story. He took influences. Even the characters are all influenced from real living people, but so was the spirit, the Hessian soldier, and that's how it got created. So that ties into my documentation. Basically, everything that you were saying, that, and I understand why you would get like, oh, it's for you, it's for you. You've been referencing my documentation.
Oh, wow.
Like throughout everything you've been saying.
Wow.
So that's wild. And that's what I've been trying to hold it in. You're saying all these things, and I'm like, she's literally bringing up spirits that I have spoken to. Now, remember when you were talking about like the heaviness of the chest,
yes,
and not being able, you brought it up right
yeah,
after Mary.
yeah.
I got in contact with Mary doing a spirit board. And whenever I connect with a spirit board and it gets heavy, I start to not being able to breathe. I feel like there's something pressing on my chest and I have to disconnect.
Oh, wow.
And that's what happened with Mary when, Mary came through and told me all the horrible things that happened to her.
Oh, wow.
So it was, yeah, like everything that you were saying on that, it was just wild. That's wild.
And Cathy, we got to ask, I mean, were you sitting there studying his TikTok feed? Were you looking at all these videos, trying to memorize it in the, I don't know, what, day and a half that we booked you for this gig?
I just joined TikTok today.
In fact,
I was not on TikTok because I have a history of being in the military. You're not allowed to be on TikTok.
There is everything that she brought up, because certain things I put on TikTok and then certain things I save for, later down the road and whatnot. The documentation with the factory and half a Buckout is not on TikTok. The only way you would know the information that you said is if you were actually watching my feeds And I mean, constantly watching the streams.
But I also give you personal information about yourself, being a little boy and all of that.
Well, yes. That was interesting because when it comes to bullying and whatnot, and forget about school, I wanted nothing to do with school. I wanted nothing to do with anybody around me. I always felt that I was not superior, but mentally more evolved. And Uncle Gary knows how I was.
But I said that. I said,
Yeah.
like
Oh, yeah.
adults.
Oh, yeah. Oh, constantly. Oh, yeah. I always wanted to venture off on my own. I always wanted to do my own thing. I'm still like that to this day, but I've always been that way.
Yeah.
And forget about school. I would not tolerate any sort of bullying whatsoever. If I saw somebody getting picked on, I put myself in the situation. And I shouldn't have. I didn't want to, but I wasn't going to allow what I was seeing and hearing happening. I had the power to do something about it. So I did. I took care of it.
Yeah.
So that was all that was also, accurate. It was getting to Dennis and all that.
Yeah.
I believe, and don't quote me on this, I have to ask management here, but I believe Dennis is the guy who ran this place up until he died a couple of years ago. He was the head management guy.
Wow.
And I also believe that he did something else with management, but it had to do with the army. And I think it had to do with like MPs and whatnot.
Oh, wow. Because this guy, Dennis the Menace,
which would have been in that vein.
Yeah, he was a veteran and he was also an MP.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. That's crazy.
So I believe his name is Dennis. I have to just double check with management. Well, actually, when I go pay my rent for the first of the month, they have a plaque with his name, and I'll be able to
that would
check
be
the
interesting.
name. But that really sounds familiar. So it was also interesting too when you were holding the noose and you brought up the captain. There's a couple different burial grounds on Buckout. One of them is a captain. His name is I believe it's John Buckout.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was like a
seafarer?
yeah, like a seafarer.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was just funny. You're literally holding the noose, and you're literally just spitting out all these things about Buckout, and I'm like,
that's amazing.
Wow. I'm like, that's all just from holding that noose.
So when you play that back, it would be interesting because he talked about being lost or about something to do with like being lost, like either.
It's interesting enough. I have not yet spoken to one of the Buckouts except for Lucinda. And you said that. You said Lucinda.
Lucille. I said Lucille.
You said Lucille. Well, you also said it could be Lucy.
Lucille, yeah.
That I've spoken to her, but not at Buckout Road. I clean graves. And I cleaned the plots of the Buckouts at a local cemetery, not on Buckout Road. And it was maybe in the past month and a half. And one of them was Lucinda.
All right.
Oh,
yeah, which is interesting.
This is all right. So here's what's crazy to me, Johnny. It's like Cathy's sitting here talking to the spirits around you. She's picking up on spirits from these other locations, but she's picking them up here. Have you ever spoken to those spirits from those locations at this location?
Well, all of the spirits that she was speaking to were from this location until I handed her that noose. That noose is new here. And I haven't done a session yet with the noose. I cut the noose down when I found it. And that's a whole real freaky thing that happens at Buckout. So one of the things that happens is that a lot of when I turn on the spirit box, these spirits are trying to get me to kill myself constantly. And one day I'm walking in the woods and they're going on about it. And I come across the noose just hanging there, ready for me. And I said, absolutely not. And I sliced it down and I took it back with me.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, I mean, this is the wild
it's crazy,
stuff.
Right? It's crazy.
That's crazy. So I have heard.
Just so you know, when you feel that noose, it feels really rough and it feels really old. It's creepy. It's a creepy one. It's a creepy one for sure. Yeah.
Let's see. Lucille was before the rope, and that's not here.
Yeah. So that is. Yeah. So that's technically Lucinda. Her full name is Lucinda. That's the only one that does have a Buckout connection, but she's not buried at Buckout. I don't even think she lived at Buckout Road. The Buckout family is just big.
All right, but what I'm saying is, but just for purposes of this and what we're trying to talk about here a lot is that's not a spirit that you've come across in this space in your office. Okay, so let's
not at all.
That's all for this installment of Splintered Spirits. The majority of the ghosts Cathy connected with are the same ones Johnny has contacted in this location. We still don't know whether or not that makes them independent apparitions or imprinted hauntings, but the fact that Cathy feels the presence of spirits here and from other locations Johnny frequents confirms that he is some sort of conduit. We're going to bring Cathy to one more location, the fireplace room, to see if she feels our favorite curmudgeon Edward, and where we'll be turning on the voice box to get actual conversations going with the spirits. Please like, follow, and subscribe where you get your podcasts, because you won't want to miss that. Until next time.